All right, hello intermediate algebra students. Excuse me. Um, Today now the new stuff, 5.1 day 2 with point slope form. Not a whole lot of new stuff. Actually, everything except the last slide is just looking again at problems similar to yesterday. Today's assignment is similar in a lot of cases, but the new stuff at the end we did not see yesterday, and those are a couple assignments on your homework. So we did revisit a lot of this in that quick first video that we watched, where I know I went quickly through those examples, but a quick look at each of the problems from the first homework assignment. I'm going to kind of go through these um, somewhat quickly-ish again here with some of the repeated problems on today's homework from yesterday. So a line passing through a certain point with a given slope, we need to put it in point slope form. Okay, so again, that point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Well, your slope, that 5/2, that should be going in there right away. That should be nice and easy to plug in. Nothing's goofy about it. Now, what is goofy is the points. So your x value that you're given is a -4, but remember, in the equation, it's the opposite sign. So that's going to go in as an x plus 4. And then the 5, that y value, that's going to go in, since it's a positive 5, that'll go in as y minus 5. So your equation in point slope form, when you're all done here, y minus 5 is equal to 5/2 times x plus 4. And that would be the final answer for that problem. Okay? The other type of problem that we saw similar to this, but actually the exact opposite, is now they're giving you the equation. You need to pick out the point and the slope that are hidden in there. Again, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The slope, again, should be nice and easy for you. It's sitting right there. There's nothing tricky about it. Your slope is 4/3. Now the point, again, 2 easy mistakes to make. First of all, make sure that you're putting them in the right order. So the y1 comes first in the equation, but in an ordered pair, you're putting it x first, then y. Okay, so we've got your x value in here as x minus 5. Remember, the actual x value is the opposite sign of what's happening in the equation. So the x value is a positive 5 because it's being subtracted. You flip that sign on it when you pull it out as the point. And then y minus 2, the actual y value is a positive 2. So just make sure that you're taking note of the sign on those values. And that would be your final answer. Here, find an equation for the line below. Again, you can submit this in point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Doesn't matter which point you use, but the slope is what we have to go ahead and find. So these 2 points are way away from each other. So we're going to have to count that rise over run. So what we've got for the rise is the fact that we are going to be going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We went up 12. And then we went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We went over 10. So your slope is going to be change of y over change of x, which is going to be 12 over 10. We can simplify that. It can't necessarily get to a whole number, but you can simplify it where they have common factors. So the 12 over 10 can simplify to 6 over 5. So the 6 over 5 is going to be your slope. That's kind of the work involved here. And then the last piece to this equation is going to be using one of those points to plug in as the x1, y1. Doesn't matter which point. Let's just go with this one, just for the heck of it. So we've got the ordered pair here of 4, 6. Okay, So your y minus your y1 is going to be y minus 6. That's going to be equal to then your slope sitting here with x minus your x1. So x minus 4. And that's your final answer. Make sure you're typing that in, okay? All right. And then that would be your final answer here. Again, you could use this point as well. It would come out with a different looking equation, but to save time so I can spend the most time on that last slide, we're gonna keep with the answer in green. Okay, so 2 possible final answers there. All right, the word problems. Suppose that a household's monthly water bill is a linear function of the amount of water the household uses. When graphed, the function gives a line with a slope of 1.75. So they're giving you the first information of the slope value being 1.75, and then they're giving you a point. The monthly cost for 21 HCF, hundreds of cubic feet, that's your x-axis. So your point here is 21 for the x, and then is $48.87. That is your y value along the y-axis, so 48.87. So we've got enough information to come up with the equation. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. You've got enough information to come up with that equation. So the y1 and the x1 are coming from this point. The m is the slope, which is given right there. So your y minus your y1 is going to be y minus 48.87 is equal to the slope of 1.75 times x minus 21 because of your x1 value. So that's your equation. They're not just asking for the equation though. They want to now use that equation to find out the monthly cost of 15 hundreds of cubic feet. So remember, your HCF is your x value. So that 15, they want to figure out the cost of 15 HCF. That's going to be plugged in for your x. So you would end up with y minus 48.87 equals 1.75 times 15 minus 21. And from here, you're just doing order of operations. You're solving to see what your y is going to be equal to once your y gets alone. So y minus 48.87 equals 1.75 times, well, 15 minus 21 is going to be negative 6. Okay, and then for the sake of the video, I'm going to stop there. On the finished notes, I will go ahead and finish this problem. But again, I want to have enough time to focus on that last slide. So to see the end result of this problem or to see another similar problem finished, we did that on video number 1, or else check the notes and I'll have this finished on there. So on to the next word problem. This is the one where it's a little different, and they've got 2 points for you. We have to actually end up finding the slope. So let's talk about the 2 points that they're giving you. Okay, when carrying 18 gallons of fuel, the airplane weighs that many pounds. So gallons of fuel, the only thing that this graph is good for is seeing what values are your x-axis and what values are your y-axis. So the gallons of fuel are your x value. So that 18 is going to be the x value of your first point, and the y value of that point is going to be the 21.99. Okay, so then you've got that 21.99 for the y value. Your second point has an x value of 48 gallons of fuel and 2,364 pounds for your y value. All right, so what do we need to come up with the equation? Well, the one spot where this differs from the last word problem is that we don't have slope given to us. So we're going to have to go ahead and find slope. So your slope is just your change in y over your change in x. So your change in y is going to be that, oops, I don't know why I had 21.99 there. So that change in y is going to be your 2364 minus 21.99 over your change in x, which is 48 minus 18. Well, I go ahead and subtract those, and 2364 minus 2199 is going to equal 165, and 48 minus 18 is 30. So to find my actual m value, I'll simplify it down. It can be a decimal number in this case, that's fine. You're just going to divide that out. 165 divided by 30 is going to equal 5.5. And that is your slope. So then using either point, okay, just for the sake of seeing an example here, let's use this point for our equation, for your y1 and your x1, and then your slope we just found. You're going to come up with this equation. So y minus the y from your point, which is 2199, is equal to your slope that we just found of 5.5 times x minus the x value of that same point, which is 18. So that is your equation. Okay, that takes some work. These are not simple problems. These ones are definitely a challenge for you. And then what they want to know once you have the equation is how much does the airplane weigh if it's carrying 66 gallons of fuel. So that's 66 gallons of fuel is the x-axis. You're going to plug 66 in for x, and you've got y minus 2199 is equal to 5.5 times 66 minus 18. Again, for the sake of the video, I'm going to stop here. On the notes, I will have this finished. Now, the new stuff for today. What we want to get in the habit of with some of this is once we're able to turn these things into a point-slope form equation, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So when you're given a point and the slope, you can easily turn that into the point-slope equation, okay? But you're noticing maybe that they want the final answer in slope-intercept. Well, that's not impossible, but it is going to take some work. So we can only get into an equation initially based on what information they're giving us. They're giving us a point and the slope. So we're going to get into point-slope form. So y minus the y from your point is going to be y minus 8, and then is equal to the slope times x minus the x from your point, which is x minus 4. Once we're there, now we can use this to get into slope-intercept form. The slope-intercept form, remember, is the y equals mx plus b. Well, what is happening here is the fact that y is all by itself. So really all you're doing is starting in point-slope form because they gave you a point and a slope, and you're going to change it into slope-intercept form by solving for y. So the first thing we have to do is distribute, and I know this gets ugly with fractions. So your y minus 8 is staying put on the left-hand side. 5/4 times x is just 5/4 x. Notice we can start to see this develop with your mx value. And then 5/4 times negative 4. So 5/4, remember when we're multiplying fractions, you just multiply top times top, bottom times bottom. So 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. 4 times 1 is 4. Negative 20 divided by 4 is going to be negative 5. So that 5/4 times negative 4 ended up with a minus 5 in there. And then the last step to get your y all by itself is just get that minus 8 out of there. You're going to add 8 to both sides. It's going to combine with that other constant term, and you're going to be left with y by itself equals 5/4 x, and then negative 5 plus 8 will be plus 3. Voila, we are in slope-intercept form. Okay? Again, these ones are definitely challenging, so don't freak out if it's a little hard at first. You guys can do it. Okay? Again, I'm almost out of time here. I will do this second example on the notes. For the sake of the video, I only have 30 seconds left. I won't be able to finish it in there. So all of these examples that were cut short will be finished in the notes. And between the two videos, I hope all that stuff helps. So keep working, keep trying. I know this stuff can be tricky, but you guys can do it. I know you can. Just might take a little bit of extra effort that doesn't always seem to have to be the case. So good luck. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys on the videos next week.